yourself, not assuming that the manufacturer is correct. The one I wish you would revisit more is RFID. Now I know that, does Carrie still have the RFID tag in her arm?
Dude, the RFID thing.
Yeah, why did you not?
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
Discovery. Here's what happened. I'm not sure how much of the story I'm allowed to tell, but I'll tell you what I know. We were going to do RFID, and on several levels, you know, how hackable, how reliable, how trackable, et cetera, et cetera. And one of our researchers called up Texas Instruments, and they arranged a conference call between, I think, Tori and the head producer over there for the other team, Linda Wolkovich, and one of the technicians at Texas Instruments. They were supposed to have a conference call to talk about the technology on like Tuesday at 10 a.m. And Tuesday at 10 a.m., Linda and Tori get on the phone, and Texas Instruments comes on, along with Chief Legal Counsel for American Express, Visa, Discover, and everybody else. I mean, and I got chills just as I described it. They were way, way outgunned, and they absolutely made it really clear to Discovery that they were not going to air this episode talking about how hackable this stuff was, and Discovery backed way down, being a large corporation who depends upon the revenue of the advertisers. And now it's on Discovery's radar, they won't let us go near it. So I'm sorry.
No.
It's just one of those things, but man, that was a really, Tori still gets a little white when he describes that phone conversation.
Well, you do have about 3,000 people in the room who aren't under such legal arrangements with producers, so.
So nice. Okay, well, hi. It's great to have you here. And I've been a fan since the first episode, so it's wonderful. Since you mentioned earlier about all the food tests that you were interested in doing and that Discovery wasn't interested, how do you feel about the fact that I'm also a foodie besides Mythbusters, on the Food Network, they're actually starting something similar to a Mythbusters show starring Ted Allen?
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
I love it.
Really?
Absolutely. I love it. I mean, of course, it's incumbent upon the other networks, Food Network and True TV, to try and replicate the success of Mythbusters. It's still one of the top rating shows on cable television right now when it airs new episodes. You've got Smash Labs on Discovery Channel. You've got sports. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You've got Sports Science on ESPN, which is actually pretty good. You've got there's a time-lapse show on Discovery that's all time-lapse photography. That's all absolutely off of what we've done. We actually were prohibited from doing a finale of an episode recently because Discovery has a whole show based on this, which I can't tell you the idea because they're still in development. But tons of things that we're doing are being pulled out and put together as shows about figuring out the science behind something and taking a close look at it. And as much as I love being at the top of the heap and Mythbusters still riding on the crest of this wave, if there are more shows out there that lend people to do critical thinking and break something down and think about it like that, that's fantastic. I'd be happy to watch us lose to another show that did it better. I know that we don't do it as well as we could every single time, although we try. And I know that a lot of the attempts out there are crappy as hell. But the fact that other people are trying to replicate our success by making science shows is absolutely not a bad thing.
And as a quick follow-up from a New York point of view, as a possible science suggestion, I happen to be at home right now cutting up unglazed ceramic tile to put in my oven to make a better pizza. And there's always, obviously, commercial pizza stone. And I was wondering if you've ever thought about testing commercial stones versus, this kind of, unglazed, which is better, how to make a better oven, better pizza, and in particular, Neapolitan pizza from a New York kind of pizza, and getting a better crust. And this is a New York issue. You know, because we're all into having this good thin crust pizza.
Because if you nailed it, then you could put original Ray's right on the oven.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a New York thing. And of course, you always have the chance of getting the oven hot enough. You get to blow up or melt down your oven.
You know, there's this show on the Food Network.
Yeah, but they won't go that far.
The product testing stuff it's territory which we've drifted into before. We have had one episode completely quashed by advertising concerns, and that was, we did a whole episode on teeth whiteners. And we proved that they didn't do squat. The commercial ones, not the process. We compared them to the process that your dentist does, which actually does do something. And we showed that none of them matched up to the claims they made on the boxes. And it spent 6 months with the discovery lawyers, and they had way too many Colgate and all those guys say, even though we didn't name any of the products, the discovery put that episode in the vault and they won't let us show it. So that kind of stuff, the comparing the commercial product to something we could do, we have to do that in a very circumspect and kind of roundabout fashion when we do it to make sure the episode's there.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Quick and lowbrow, favorite explosion?
My favorite explosion?
Yeah.
No question. Hot water heater. Here, wait. Oh, no, I don't have, wait, I have something for you here. Wait a second. You guys want to see, I know you do. Here's okay, I'll give you okay. Yeah, so you can see what some of my, well, so I haven't seen it yet. There we go. Yes. I feel so exposed. I didn't take off my pants. We recently did sobering up techniques, and although I shouldn't do this, I'm going to show you. We did sobering up techniques, and we finished off with, "Will smacking you in the face sober you up?" You got to see this. This is unbelievable. And then we also did vigorous exercise. And so here's Jamie timing me running on a treadmill. Our second cameraman, Scott Sorensen, is a friggin' genius with a high-speed camera. He sets up these gorgeous shots. That's Peter Heap, my cameraman, on the left side, Jamie on the right, looking like the man with no eyes from Cool Hand Luke. And here's me on 5 scotches in 45 minutes running on a treadmill. Now, here's where I'm starting to have a little trouble. And there, I've actually stepped on the treadmill and the track, so I'm starting to lose my balance. But I'm still going. Then I realized I could step on the ground. So now I'm okay, except that for some reason I decide to jump right back on before I've regained my balance. And this is when I hit the ground. There you go. Okay, next question.
You said before in your speech that you do actually like to do redactions and all that, retest things and all that. I'm one person that tries to watch as much as I can, but sometimes I can't. The one test that I've seen that always was stuck out of my head was the American Graffiti blowing the rear axle out.
Yeah.
Has there been a redo of that,
No.
or
and
are
we
you
totally
planning
screwed
on
that
it?
one up. I know we did. We didn't use the correct car. The correct car, at that point, that was the very first season. So our budgets were really low. That cop car cost us, I think, $3,000, and that was a freaking deal. And the classic car that was that police car, I can't remember what it was exactly now, but I know that we didn't have the right one, and this rear axle, we tried to get one that was close, but at that point, we were on such a shoestring, we only had 2 researchers, we totally messed it up. Yeah, we might end up doing it again someday. It hasn't been on the list, but now it is.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yes, I know you get a lot of emails complaining about the way you do things, but do you ever get emails from scientists or engineers saying, I saw your show, I've been working on this, let's get together for a patent, journal entry, something like that? Anything gone on further?
Yeah, actually, that's the vast majority of the feedback that we get is, and even if I don't read the discovery boards, because I just don't want to put myself up for that kind of abuse. Same reason I don't read the Slashdot comments. But whenever somebody excoriates us for screwing something up and not knowing what we're doing, the people that rally to our defense are the working scientists. And at this point, Jamie and I have been consulted and congratulated by everybody, Sandia Labs, Oak Ridge, Lawrence Livermore, NASA. I mean, from every FBI, everywhere you can imagine, scientists have come out of the woodwork and not only asked us how we did certain things. I mean, one of the very first, my first favorite explosion was explosive decompression. We fired the bullet through the fuselage of an airplane and blew it up. No, we didn't blow it up, but then later on we blew it up to show that firing bullets through the fuselage won't do squat. And we immediately, after that episode aired, we got a call from one of the head scientists at the Oak Ridge Ballistic Labs, the U.S. government's ballistic testing facility, and he said, not only have we been trying to do that experiment for 10 years, we've been trying to raise the money to perform that experiment because nobody knew how that was going to turn out. But you guys did exactly what we had outlined. You got exactly the results we were imagining that we would get, and can we borrow your footage to use? And those are some of my favorite episodes, the ones where we got the science exactly right.
Have there been any products or practices out there that you're aware of that came as a result of your show then?
Say,
Are there any products or scientific practices that came around as a result of one of your shows?
I have no idea. I know that every time I'm in the airport, air marshals seek me out to tell me that their wives now feel safer to fly. Knowing their husbands are traveling with a pistol on their belt, they feel safe because they know the pistol won't do anything. But I don't know. That's a good question. I think that about wraps it up for me. I'm sorry, you 4 guys who've been waiting. Thank you so much. It's been my honor to speak to you guys. Thank you.
Well, I'll take care of your computer.
Okay.
Follow me.
Obviously.